dude that has a head behind
That is data or whatever.
can be far away.
Today we're gonna learn some interesting facts, some interesting stuff about the brain. You know, before we even start though, like, Reed, what do you know about the brain? Like, what's everything you know about the brain?
So I know the brain is spelled BRAIN. Check. I know that the brain from pictures online it's pink, but I like to think that everyone's brain's a different color. Mine's blue, just because that's my favorite color. But yeah, I know that the brain there's so much to it.
Identify as a blue brain.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I don't identify with as any of those brains that you see online when you search up brain on Google. I don't identify with as that. But yeah, all jokes aside, yeah, I know that there's so much to the brain, and yeah, like you said, like the topics that we'll be discussing today, it just speaks of just how much we don't know about our brain, or how much like we do know, and might just learn new information and be like, oh no, that's not a part of the brain because I learned this in school, or just like from anywhere. So yeah, there's a lot of the brain. I've always heard that like we only use 7% of our brain, like the power from our brain, but I've always heard like that could be lies too. So I've heard three different pennies of thought of what the brain power is about for each person. But yeah. How about yourself, fam? What do you know about the brain?
Yeah, not much. All kinds of everything that you said. That's a second that, except my brain. My brain's purple. If we're going like that, I identify as a purple brain. Color of royalty.
Okay, fam. My bad.
Yeah, sure.
My bad. T'Challa out here, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Say that.
Started.
I already know. But yeah, let's learn some stuff about brain. Actually, you know what? As a PS, I'm sorry to have to be the one, since we're on the topic of brain, I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you all our female viewers watching this. But as a PSA, it does not need to be reciprocated on the topic of brain.
It's understood, doesn't need to be explained, ladies out there,
So exactly. All right, so here we have our first video speaking on the pineal gland.
The pineal gland is
For those of you who don't know, the pineal gland is a gland that is in the brain.
Yeah. Yes, this is an interesting video, and yeah, I think just any type of gland in the brain, the function of it is just so just there's so much about it that like people don't know, like each gland in the brain for what it does, and how you should like take care of your brain, that it could just help the gland in your brain. So yeah, this is an interesting video about the pineal gland.
All right, let's get into it.
Neuroendocrine transducer, secreting melatonin responsible
Wait,
for physiological.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I could hear it. Yep.
Circadian rhythm control. A new form of biomineralization has been studied in the human pineal gland and consists of small crystals that are less than 20 microns in length. These crystals are responsible for electromechanical, biological transduction mechanism in the pineal gland due to the structure and and that's the second point.
Basically, what he was saying is that the pineal gland regulates sleep through secreting different hormones, and it knows when to do that based off different functions. But it has it's like a piezoelectric transducer, and you know what? Hold on. Let me just go back. I don't even
points.
know.
The keywords here are piezoelectric properties and transducer. The piezoelectric effect occurs when you apply pressure to certain materials, and that mechanical stress is changed into an electrical charge. To put it in simple terms, the pineal gland contains calcite crystals made of calcium, carbon, and oxygen, and because of their structure, they express this effect. Like an antenna, the pineal gland has the capacity to become electrically activated and generate electromagnetic fields that can tune into information. That's point number 1. In addition, in the same way an antenna pulsates a rhythm or frequency to match the frequency of an incoming signal, the pineal gland receives information carried on invisible electromagnetic fields. Since all frequency carries information, once the antenna connects to the exact signal of the electromagnetic field, there must be a way to convert and descramble that signal into a meaningful message. That's exactly what a transducer does, and that's the second point. A transducer is anything that receives a signal in the form of one type of energy, and converts it into a signal in another form. Take a moment to look around you. The space you are sitting in is filled with TV, radio, and Wi-Fi waves that are all different frequency ranges of invisible electromagnetic energy. You can't see any of them with your eyes, but they're still there. For example, the antenna that picks up a range of frequencies carrying a signal to your TV is transduced into a picture on your TV screen. When you tune into an FM station, you are tuning your antenna to a specific electromagnetic frequency. The information carried in that frequency range is then transduced into a coherent signal, which is the music you hear with your ears. The study I quoted says the pineal gland is a neuroendocrine transducer, capable of receiving and converting signals within the brain. When the pineal gland acts as a transducer, it can pick up frequencies above our three-dimensional space-time, sensory-based reality. Once the pineal gland is activated, it can tune into higher dimensions of this space and time. And like a TV, it can then turn the information carried on those frequencies into vivid imagery and surreal, lucid, transcendental experiences in our mind, including profoundly heightened multisensory visions beyond our vocabulary. For the pineal gland to become activated, some important things must happen.
So what he's talking about there is, well, exactly what he said. You can use a pineal gland as a way to tune into different aspects of reality that you might not be privy to right now. Once you put in the work to activate it, and things like the experiences people explain that they see off of like DMT or different psychedelics, you could achieve those kind of experiences without those drugs, because the pineal gland, like, not only does it produces, he's gonna explain that it produces DMT as like a form of melatonin, which is like a sleep drug, if you didn't know. But it also is like it produces the effects of DMT and so much more. And he's gonna explain about how to activate this pineal gland right now.
I will address them now. 1. The piezoelectric effect. Critical to creating the piezoelectric effect in the pineal gland are the calcite crystals mentioned above. Remember, these are very tiny crystals, approximately 1 to 20 microns in length. To put this in context, their size can range anywhere from 1/100th to 1/4 the width of a human hair. For the most part, they are octahedron, hexahedron, and rhombohedron in shape. The purpose of the breathing technique we do before many meditations is to pull the mind out of the body by liberating potential energy stored as emotions in the lower 3 energy centers. As we inhale and contract those intrinsic muscles, follow our breath from the perineum all the way up our spine to the top of our head, and then hold our breath and squeeze those muscles more. We're increasing intrathecal pressure. This is the internal pressure created when you push up against your
Just to So cut in, just be careful if you're gonna follow any of this, because like he's introducing these concepts as like black and white, but this is like pretty much pseudoscience, and it's like everyone's different, and doing these breathing exercises or activating your doing be careful with what you're doing because you might do something that you didn't intend to do, and activating your pineal gland can result in like pretty much going mad, going crazy. So if you're
Wait, how
not
would it like make someone go crazy? No, I'm gonna cut you off, bro. Like that's interesting, cause like I've never heard of that. Like,
yeah,
how does it like make some people that have, I guess, cleared it from what this person speaking about the video about it being kind of clogged. So what happens when like a person kind of just clears it? Like, have you heard any stories about that?
what not like specific stories and saying, oh yeah, I did all these things to activate my pineal gland and now I'm crazy, but like
Yeah.
in the way that people talk, people who have like schizophrenia, people who are addicted to drugs, people who are like in psychosis, like constantly go through psychosis, people
Mhm.
who have, like stuff experience stuff in the past and stuff, like you know it's pretty much, yeah, it's like different stories, but it's all like everything that you thought was, or like stuff that seems impossible not only becoming possible but actually affecting you. And it's like now you're seeing ghosts, now wizards and extra dimensional beings are talking to you saying, if you don't click these fingers and control this person, or if you don't do this and that, then this person's gonna die, or or this person's gonna die and it's your fault, you have to do this, or um you have to save yourself, or save like all these. Bro, when you get an intrusive thought that's like, ah, damn, that girl's kind of bad, and then all of a sudden you're imagining like y'all having sex or something like that, like an intrusive thought, or like you get angry
Yeah.
at someone.
What's it called? I've had like intrusive thoughts, um, and it wasn't like any type of like the shorty things. Like usually it's about, let's say, oh my gosh, I hate that professor. I can't believe he did that. And then like the intrusive thoughts like, I'm just gonna leave this class right now. I'm gonna leave him a message being like, wow man, I can't believe you did that. Not any type of like crazy things. I know how I started that, guys, by saying the professor thing. Not any type of like murderous thoughts, right? Like not any
I
type of
mean,
that type of stuff, but like intrusive thoughts just around like, oh man, I'm gonna send him a note being like, wow, screw you, professor. I can't believe you signed that. But yeah, I know I know what you mean though. Yeah.
you've
Like
never
it
had
kind of just
that.
would that be considered one? Like I was just like saying that instead of like the shorty one, because I've never really had any type of shorty ones. Maybe I have in the past and I can't recall, but just from like what I could recall, I know what you meant the shorty ones, but I know that was just an example still.
Yeah, but like not just like getting angry and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna watch," or like getting like heated or getting whatever. Like an intrusive thought is like you're thinking, like you get heated, and then at the peak of like you're angry, you're like, ah, and you're thinking, oh, how am I deal with this? And then all of a sudden you're thinking ways to deal with this anger, blah blah blah, and then the thought comes here, it's like, oh, I'm gonna kill this guy or something like that. Like obviously you're not thinking, oh, I want to go out and kill this guy, but that like that
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
like it just like intrusive thoughts like that, but it's like,
Not on a type of level where like someone actually wants to
yeah,
or they're actually planned to it all. It's just like a quick thought like that, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, what the heck? I can't believe I thought that. And
yeah,
then you go
exactly.
back into like your mode, you're like, yo, come on. I know we hate that guy, but what was that? Why do we think that just now? It's like inside out type beat.
Yeah,
That anger cartoon comes out of nowhere. That angry cartoon character is like, he's like, yo, abort, abort, abort. He just had a killing thought. He just had a killing thought. We got to abort. We got to abort. But yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, like that. Like it's like your intrusive thoughts are becoming um real, and it's like not. It's like
So they're having psychosis
a psycho.
when they unlock, or I guess clear their pineal gland per se.
You can compare those two experiences, I think. Like I don't know firsthand. I know about psychosis, but I don't know about like the activating the pineal gland. But they like you can view it's like a trip on, I don't know, on some kind of drug, you can just view more to reality, like being on mushrooms or something like that. But then it could be really good or it could be really bad. So you can either go crazy, become more grounded. It can go in any direction. But
Mhm.
the reason I gave the warning is because if you're doing the motions of trying to activate your pineal gland so you could have superpowers, or so you could like be high all the time, or for whatever reason, if you have like a lot of if you're I don't know, there's just like if you have a lot of dense stuff weighing you down, stuff that you have to deal with emotionally, with people in your life, with yourself, then it's gonna be reflected in um the results of your activity in trying to activate your pineal gland. So just doing those breathing exercises, sure, it might act like it might increase the pressure in your brain, but then you might start hearing stuff and you might start seeing stuff. And then when you haven't dealt with all the stuff that you haven't dealt with, then that might turn into fear, and then that'll affect what you're actually seeing and hearing. So it's like it could get worse more than it gets better by doing these things. So it's like it's better to learn and just wait, like do research before you do any of this stuff. Don't just go off this one video, basically. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's a good point. No, I think that disclaimer you just gave, bro, that's true, because a lot of people might just want to, I guess, unlock, or I won't say unlock, because the pineal gland, from this information as well as the information I found online from like health sources and just different scholarly articles, it's a part of everyone's brain, but I guess kind of just work towards, like, I guess, clearing it up from doing meditations, from doing different type of physical health. Um, what would like that be called? I know would it be called
Mental health thing.
not mental health? I guess like just like self help, whatever your like reasoning to
Mm.
unlock or just clear up your brain. Holistic like reasons I know is like a big reason why people want to unlock their pineal gland, their brain. But like for any reason someone wants to do that, let's say they're practicing chakra meditation. That's something I've heard. The pineal gland being used a lot in chakra meditations to unlock the third chakra, which is known as the pineal gland in a lot of spiritual practices and in Hinduism and Buddhism. But yeah, if they want to unlock that, yeah, they should have a disclaimer, especially if someone that is trying to do that is watching this video. That disclaimer you gave is really good, because let's say they do that, they don't have enough information online to kind of just educate them more about it. This video and what we're speaking about can kind of just give you a heads up that, hey, yeah, you might think that's going to help you heal you in different ways, because I have always heard like people doing chakra meditations to unlock the different chakras is going to open a different type of feeling in their body, or a different type of just awakening in their body that can be irreversible or can be just very shocking to them because they're not used to it. So yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It could just like kind of just put a lot of fear in them. But now again, I've heard that it's not completely backed up by health sources, but it is a practice that people have been doing for centuries. So yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
And that's a really good point made on like the self-help and meditation, because your body, like people sometimes can like don't think of the brain or the pineal gland as like a cure-all. If you get your brain right, then you're good. Like your whole body is a system that works together. So like activating one part isn't gonna make the other parts automatically better. And so, just get all parts of your body right at the same time. Like your heart, if you go to your heart and like try to communicate with your brain with your heart, and your breathing, start practicing breathing exercises, start eating right and eating on like a, maybe eat less, eat more, on a certain schedule or whatever. um Even down to like pooping, exercising, like get all parts of your body right, and meditate. That'll be for your brain and stuff. But yeah.
Sides. For example, when you hold your breath and lift something heavy. The word piezoelectric is derived from the Greek words piezein, which means to squeeze or press, and piezo, which means to push. When you do this, you are pushing cerebrospinal fluid up against the pineal gland, exerting mechanical stress on it. This mechanical stress translates into an electrical charge, and it's this exact action that compresses the stacked crystals in the pineal gland and creates a piezoelectric effect. The crystals of the pineal gland generate an electric charge in response to the stress you're applying. One of the unique characteristics of the piezoelectric effect is that it's reversible, meaning that the materials exhibiting the direct piezoelectric effect, the crystals, also exhibit a converse piezoelectric effect. To the top of our head, then hold our breath and squeeze. We are increasing intrathecal pressure.
So he's teaching how to breathe,
from the
guys,
ventricle
in that part.
through a small canal into
Go back to that part real quick. I think that's where he's like teaching about like the best way to breathe. I think that's really good in terms of just like
when we inhale.
breathing for meditation. A lot of people get it messed up when they're trying to achieve different goals. That's why I strongly push, if anyone's trying to learn any type of meditation, do your research for it on how to meditate. Speak to an instructor online. There's a lot of instructors online, therapists, a whole bunch of that. They could teach you on how to meditate in the best way that works for you. Maybe that could be like 4x4x4 breathing practices. That could be visualization practices while meditation. There's so many online. But yeah, just learning how to breathe is very crucial, because that could just like help the type of feeling that you would retrieve from the meditation. If that feeling's just helping your anxiety, so distressing, if that's just helping you feel more gratitude for different things in your life, words, for example, affirmations, then yeah, like doing your research is very crucial for that. So yeah, I strongly suggest that. But his way of speaking about this in the pineal gland video, I think it really speaks about the importance of how to breathe to work on the whole pineal gland work for meditation.
And are creating an electrical charge. The electromagnetic field that is emanating from the pineal gland causes the crystals in it to stretch as the field increases. When the crystals generating the electromagnetic field reach their limit and can stretch no further, they contract, and the electromagnetic field reverses direction and moves inward toward the pineal gland. When the electromagnetic field reaches the pineal gland crystals, it compresses them again, producing yet another electromagnetic field. This cycle of expanding and reversing the field perpetuates a pulsating electromagnetic field. When we inhale through our nose, and at the same time squeeze our intrinsic muscles, we accelerate the cerebrospinal fluid into the brain. As we follow the movement of energy to the top of our head, then hold our breath and squeeze, we are increasing intrathecal pressure. The increased pressure moves the breath and squeeze, we are increasing intrathecal pressure. The increased pressure moves the cerebrospinal fluid from the fourth ventricle through a small canal into the third ventricle. At the same time, fluid traveling around the cerebellum compresses the crystals of the pineal gland. By increasing the intrathecal pressure, you funnel a greater volume of fluid into the chamber of the third ventricle, as well as from the space around the cerebellum. So when you hold your breath and squeeze, this extra volume of fluid exerts pressure from both directions up against the crystals, causing them to compress and create the piezoelectric effect. Now the pineal gland becomes a pulsating antenna, capable of picking up subtler and subtler, faster electromagnetic frequencies. This is the first event that must take place to activate the pineal gland. 2. The pineal gland releases its metabolites. On the surface of the pineal gland are tiny hairs called cilia, Latin for eyelashes. The action of the accelerated fluid moving faster than normal through the chambers of the ventricular system tickles the tiny hairs, which overstimulates the pineal gland. Because the pineal gland is shaped like a phallus, the stimulation produced by the acceleration of fluid moving past it, combined with the electrical activation created by an increase in intrathecal pressure in a closed system, causes the gland to ejaculate some very profound, upgraded metabolites of melatonin into the brain. The tiny cilia.
So basically, melatonin is a cum of the brain. What he's saying right now.
So if you guys
stimulated
focus on that cum of the brain, that means you could just put more cum in your brain. I'm joking.
What?
What? Wait, what?
What's that, bro?
What? Wait.
Hold on.
Wait. I don't know what I'm talking about, man. Like, how could more cum just enter the brain from cum? Wait, pause. We got to reverse real quick. We never said any of that stuff, man. I don't even know what we just said, bro.
Dude, we can cut that part out.
Will kill me, bro. You said.
Basically, No Nut November will be a breeze with this technique.
There you go, man. So No Nut November would be a breeze for this technique for sure, man, because you won't be coming from another place. You'll be coming at the top of your body, you know what I'm saying? No bottom, top only. And that's coming from your brain. So it's like killing two birds at once, because it's like, yo, I'm not doing it, but I'm doing it at the same time. But it doesn't count as me nutting because I'm only nutting in the brain. There you go, man.
I'm only nutting in the brain.
Yeah. Nutting in the brain.
The cerebrospinal fluid accelerates through the ventricular system. 3. Energy is delivered directly to the brain. Much like sending a rocket ship into space, overcoming gravity to get it off the ground is the part that requires the most energy. So to move that energy from our lower centers demands a great deal of intensity and effort. As you know by now, every time you perform the breath, you send charged particles up the spinal column. As these particles increase in velocity and acceleration, they create what's known as an inductance field. This inductance field reverses the flow of two-way information that typically facilitates communication from the brain to the body and the body to the brain. Much like a vacuum, the inductance field draws the energy from those lower centers, energy involved with orgasm, consumption, digestion, fight or flight stress, and control, and delivers it directly to the brain stem in a spiraling motion. As the energy travels up through each vertebra, it passes the nerves that run from the spinal cord to different parts of the body, and some of that energy is then transferred through the peripheral nerves that affect the tissues and organs of the body. The current that runs along these nerve channels activates the body's meridian system, resulting in all the other systems of the body getting more energy. As energy is released from the body to the brain, it passes by the excitation of this.
Wait, hold up, fam. Hold up. Wait. Reverse real quick.
I know what you're about to say, bro. Talking about this?
Yacht! Stop playing, yo, we're grown adults, yo. We shouldn't be laughing at just like human anatomy, for an example, for the body's meridians. I think we should be more mature.
Yeah. She's very professional looking.
Wakefulness. For instance, when you wake up from a deep sleep because you hear a sound in your house, It's the RAS that alerts you and arouses you. That's its rudimentary function. However, as the sympathetic nervous system is activated and merges with the parasympathetic nervous system, instead of depleting the body's stored energy, it releases that energy back to the brain. Once this energy reaches the brainstem, the thalamic gate opens like a door and energy moves through the reticular formation to the thalamus, where it relays information to the neocortex. Now the reticular formation is open, and you experience greater levels of awareness. In a sense, you become more conscious and awakened. Think of the thalamus as a big train station with tracks leading to the higher centers of the brain. That's how the brain goes into gamma brainwave patterns. Right between each thalamus located in the midbrain sits the tiny pinecone-shaped pineal gland, facing the back of the brain. As a side note, there are 2 individual thalami in the midbrain, one on each side, which feed each hemisphere in the neocortex. The pineal gland sits right between them, facing the back of the brain. When the energy reaches each thalamic junction, remember the thalamus is like a relay station to all other parts of the brain. These thalami send a message directly to the pineal gland to secrete its metabolites into the brain. The effect is that the thinking neocortex becomes aroused and goes into higher brainwave patterns, like gamma. The nature of those chemical derivatives of melatonin relaxes the body, and at the same time awakens the mind. When energy moves from the body to the brain, a torus field is created around the body. When the pineal gland becomes activated, a reverse torus field of electromagnetic energy moving in the opposite direction draws energy through the top of the head, into the body, from the unified field. Since energy is frequency, and frequency carries information, the pineal gland transduces that information into vivid imagery. When your pineal gland is awakened, because it is picking up higher frequencies, these higher energies alter the chemistry of melatonin. The higher the frequency, the greater the alteration. It's this translation of information into chemistry that primes you for those transcendental, mystical moments. This is why I like to call the pineal gland an alchemist, because it transmutes melatonin into some very profound, radical neurotransmitters. As higher frequencies and higher states of consciousness interact with the pineal gland, one of the first things to happen is that these frequencies transmute melatonin into chemicals called benzodiazepines. Benzodiazepines are a class of drugs, from which Valium is created, that anesthetize the analytical mind, so all of a sudden the thinking brain relaxes and stops analyzing. According to functional brain scans, benzodiazepines suppress neural activity in the amygdala, the brain's survival center. This limits chemicals that cause you to feel fear, anger, agitation, aggression, sadness, or pain. Now your body feels calm and relaxed, but your mind is awakened. Another chemical created from melatonin produces a class of very powerful antioxidants called pinolines. Pinolines are important because they attack free radicals, which harm your cells and cause aging. These antioxidants are anti-cancer, anti-aging, anti-heart disease, anti-stroke, anti-neurodegenerative, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial. That's a perfect formula to upgrade melatonin's normal role as an antioxidant to the role of a supercharged antioxidant that further restores and heals the body to a greater degree than the melatonin molecule normally does. If you take that molecule and tweak it again into a cousin of melatonin, you find the same chemical that makes animals hibernate. When melatonin, which makes us sleepy and dreamy, alters just slightly into this more powerful molecule, it carries a message to extend rest and repair even further. Because the body is no longer the mind, we temporarily lose our interest in the outer world. And because we have no biological drives and aren't distracted with bodily needs, we're able to move more fully into the present moment and go deeply within. If you take that molecule and advance it yet again, you produce the same chemical found in electric eels, a phosphorescent, bioluminescent chemical that amplifies energy in the nervous system. This chemical...
Yo, Black Lightning? Sam has to be...
Wait.
Just meditate and you come Black Lightning and save us, bro. I'm on that.
Yo, Black Lightning, fam, you would literally just be like thinking about being Black Lightning in order to get into his superhero form. It was actually jokes, bro. I remember like he was at the school once, because you've watched the TV show, right?
I've seen a few episodes. Yeah.
With the ant farm girl, she's his daughter in it. But he was just at the school once. He's like, "Yo, you know what? I got it." He has this like deep ass voice. I don't know if it's like AI or anything, but he's just like, "Yo, I heard that. I heard that Tobias is around school today.
Man named
He comes black light, and I'm like, what the hell, bro? Damn, man. Moving like that.
trying to be like that, bro.
Imagine, man. You're trying to pull up to your family dinner as Black Lightning to save the day. A fight breaking out at the family dinner, you know them ones, bro? It's a barbecue. Your uncle gets into a fight with like one of your cousins. She's like, yo, man, I can't believe you took the burger patties. You ate all the burger patties, man. Come on, man. I'll beat your ass. And then you come as Black Lightning, like, no, you are not beating my cousin's ass today.
Not beating my cousin.
And then with your lightning, you just go shock up the barbecue, get it started and everything. Like, we're cooking more burgers.
Yo, this guy's you're so PG, bro. Not gonna beat the uncle up or anything. It's like, nah, we're gonna cook more burgers. Everyone wins in the situation. No one's losing.
Well, if it's your uncle, bro, you can beat him up. I'm not saying you can't, but like, you're just trying to stop the fight. And you're trying to cook up some more burgers for the family, man. Yo, family matters.
Exactly. Only ones that loses are the cows.
Exactly.
Can be powerful enough to cause a significant shock. Just imagine an electric eel that literally lights up with energy when it gets stimulated. That's what happens in the brain when it gets activated. Not only does this phosphorescent, bioluminescent chemical increase the energy in the brain, but it enhances the imagery the mind internally perceives so that everything looks as though it's made of vivid, surreal, luminescent light. As a result, people have reported experiencing colors they've never seen before, because they exist outside their known experience of the visible light spectrum. These colors appear as profound, otherworldly glowing lights in a technicolor, lucid, opalescent world of suspended beauty. Everything appears as if it's emitting beautiful light made of vivid, radiant energy that you can feel. Alter melatonin one more time and you produce the chemical dimethyltryptamine, one of the most powerful hallucinogenic substances known to man. When ayahuasca or other plant chemicals containing this molecule are ingested, the body receives only DMT, but when the pineal gland is activated, it receives the whole blend of aforementioned chemicals, and this causes some very profound inner experiences. Some of these experiences have been reported to create profound time dilation, where time appears infinite. Time travel, journeys to paranormal realms, visions of complex geometric patterns, encounters with spiritual beings, and other mystical interdimensional realities. Now, because the pineal gland is activated, we can pick up higher frequencies, which in turn produces a change in chemistry. The higher the frequency we pick up, the more it alters our chemistry, which means the more visual, hallucinogenic, and higher energy experiences we have. The crystals in our pineal gland, acting like a cosmic antenna, are the doorway to these higher vibrational realms of light and information.
There you go. Pineal gland.
Pineal gland, man. Is that something like you've thought about, like, or have you access to your pineal gland, or you've thought of like putting work towards kind of unlocking it?
Nah, bro. I thought it was a bunch of woo-woo stuff, to be honest. But after like some experiences that I had, I want to definitely try and like keep on meditating and keep on like trying to get my body working right and stuff, and do it better. But I don't think it's. I think I said it before too. Like this, I don't think it's just the pineal gland or the brain. You focus on your whole body, then all the stuff he was talking about, like time dilation, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and witnessing different things and having surreal experiences. It's all possible. I think it's all possible. But my advice would be not to just focus all your energy on the pineal gland, because you'll be unbalanced that way.
That's what a lot of people say, like unbalanced, if like that's like the first thing that you work towards unlocking through meditation. they like say you should start off from like the bottom to the top. That's not necessarily something I'm trying to do at all, but like I've done my research for like the whole chakra training, and like there's like videos online where they like give you an outline of what to unlock first and then working your way up towards the pineal gland, the third eye chakra. But yeah, I know what you mean. If you just focus on that, you might just be skipping a lot of processes. But I don't even know if someone would be able to just go to that without going through the other processes, because they say that at least in the Hindu and Voodoo culture, it's very crucial to start with the other chakras before you work your way up to the pineal gland.
That's true. But and at the same time, it's like all of the chakras are like pathways to like what people will call like the divine or whatever. It's like it's all ways to access your connection to God, basically. So honestly, if you wanted to focus on the pineal gland first, there's also a path to doing so, and like to access your divinity or whatever. But it's all up to the person. You could start trying to access your pineal gland and then realize, wait a minute, I feel the need to start breathing in this type of way, or research this thing about my body, and then you'll have another practice, and that'll lead to another practice, and that'll lead to another practice, and then eventually you'll just be well on your way, and you started with trying to activate your pineal gland. So it's all up to the person. What about you? You ever how's your pineal gland going?
I've never tried training like that type of like focus for meditation, because I don't know, it's not something that I've wanted to do, but I've like seen online a lot of spiritual YouTubers. They'll be like they unlocked their pineal gland, or just are just close to awakening it, and they're starting to see things. So I've heard of just the results of what unlocking the pineal gland can be, but yeah, it's not something I'm trying to do, nor is like chakra meditation something I do in my daily life. But it's interesting. It's interesting, and at times I just look at it as like, what if someone's just capping, But you mentioned stories about people just seeing different things on it, so perhaps it actually is something that happens to people when they access and tap into their pineal gland. But yeah, I know there's so much more that goes into it. We could even like put up this fact about like people saying that fluoride is something that clogs the pineal gland. I'm not a health professional at all. I don't know anything about that, but that's what a lot of people on YouTube claim. That's not something I know at all. I don't know that as a truth, but a lot of people say that's what clogs it. And if you abstain from fluoride completely, you could work towards unlocking the pineal gland even faster. But yeah, that's what I've heard from people online. So it's just hearsay. That's not something I believe or have tried.
Yeah. No, I heard something about that too, like the fluoride in the tap water or something. But I think that's
like toothpaste. Yeah, a lot of people that work towards clearing or just unclogging their pineal gland. They abstain from fluoride toothpaste and use fluoride-free toothpaste. They try to drink more alkaline water that is clear from fluoride water that's usually found in the tap, which fluoride is not bad at all. A lot of dentists, we could even pop that up, a lot of dentists say that it's actually not good to try to stir away from fluoride completely, because it's really good for the enamel of the teeth and just the body in general. So abstaining from it can cause more worse than good. But at the end of the day, it's whatever someone's goals are, whatever their practices are. So gotta respect it, I guess.